Welcome back, everyone. You know, another Democratic official now essentially telling the President of the United States to stuff it when it comes to his executive orders on illegal immigration. And now it's Connecticut's governor, Daniel Malloy, who will not comply with that. In other words, been going after sanctuary states in this case. Then you say that the president is well within his rights then, denying that state federal funds?
Of course, it's a federal issue. That's laid out very clearly in the Constitution, that the immigration issues are federal issues. These people are basically behaving the way the southern states did in 1861 after Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated. They basically are starting, they haven't about to start, they have started a second civil war. And of course, it's not going to be fought with guns, I hope. It's being fought in the courts, but these people are lawbreakers, and they should be ashamed of themselves. And the federal law prevails here, and these guys cannot interpose themselves like southern states tried to do during the Civil Rights era between federal law and their citizens. That's just not allowed. That's not the Constitution.
You know what's weird? What the directive that Governor Malloy put out in Connecticut was a missive to police, state police. And that puts them in a quandary,
Listen,
right? I mean, don't do this. That's weird.
It's weird. It sounds like really illegal. I mean, let's be real clear here. The federal government does certain things. It's in the Constitution. It's it's embedded in law. Civil rights is one of those things. You know, it imposed civil rights mandates on states. Protecting the border is another one of those things.
Well, what would change with this plan? What Trump wants to do, what the president wants to do, is you can no longer shield illegals, but it's not as if the law enforcement would be going after illegals there. It's just that if in the course of stopping someone for a ticket or whatever, and you discover they're illegal, then you could go ahead and start deportation.
In New York City, if you find someone who is illegal because it's a sanctuary city, if a New York City cop arrests that person, they don't have to turn them over to federal authorities. Thus, New York City
You're punished for the crime or whatever you've done, or running a red light or whatever, but you cannot be...
Right. Okay. A little different topic, but a little different sort of, I'm not saying it's a purely analogous situation, but Malloy is, in some respects, acting like George Wallace did.
That's an interesting.
Absolutely.
That's an interesting take.
Absolutely.
What do you make, Jerry?
Well, look, I'm shocked that that these governors feel like they can just act on their own personal whim and they don't have to abide by the law. They don't have to go along. It's shocking to me. And in New York, the same thing is going on. Exact same thing. The cops, who you would think would take direction, would be happy to.
Well, New York's police chief said that he wouldn't go along with this, right?
Exactly right.
I want to play this out, Charles Payne, because what it's saying is, if you're not seeking out, you're not going on an ICE raid in like the Upper Bronx, right? You stumble across someone, stopping them for a ticket, and then you discover that. I said, and then saying, well, you shouldn't be here, and now you're proceeding against getting them kicked out of the country, right? That's very different than going in mass after people.
Oh yeah, it's night and day. Some of these police forces are saying, well, if nothing else, help us out then, because some cities have enough crime on their hands that they're saying we don't have the resources or time to hold these people. For the most part, I think it's a cop-out. It's a reflection of local politics, and it's a defiance of the White House. I don't really think that you would have seen, even if there were a different Republican in the White House, I think a lot of these places would treat it differently. This is a personal affront.
But it's blurred, but it's blurred into like the Gestapo tactics, right? I mean, that all of a sudden, by going after illegals who were here, by tracking them down, or even accidentally discovering them, they're deemed Gestapo tactics. It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, first of all, it's not clear that federal funds can be used in sort of a punitive nature. I'm going to punish you for not doing this. That isn't the spirit in which they were intended. And in terms of the spirit, Neil, I don't know about.
We have laws, right? Legal citizens, right?
So what do you do?
There's no question, but we have a problem. Well, look, there's no question we have laws, but we also have a problem. And Presidents Bush and Obama tried to have comprehensive immigration reform to address this problem.
Steve,
this is another way to address the problem.
Adam, you were talking around it. What do you do if the governor...
It's going to spin out of control.
But let Adam answer then. What are you going to do, Adam?
Well, I would have, as I said, our last two presidents tried to address that, and that's how I would like to have addressed it.
What do you do if the
different question. That's a different question.
I'm listening.
What do you do if a governor of the state, of a sovereign state, goes out there, not sovereign, but a state, goes out there and just says...
When push comes to shove, the federal law is going to have to stand, and I'm saying we should look for a better way.
All right, well, we don't have time. Does this look